All right. So in the previous session, we looked at how to save notifications. Let's see what we have. If I go to the web application, I can go to the document types and let's log in first. And if you go to the document types and look at a specific document, we should see the notifications. And yesterday we added functionality which allowed us to manage notifications, right? So I can say 111 days before this event occurs, we want to send a notification email. So we're able to edit and add and delete notifications on a data type. Now, the second part of that functionality was to actually be able to send the notifications, right? So able to manage notifications for document type is done. When a notification is supposed to be sent, we need to send a notification to the primary contacts email. Now, for now, we'll just assume that to be the user of the account, the owner of the account. Okay, so let's see. Now, the other thing we need to figure out is how we are going to actually implement this. Now, we have a web application. So, the way a web application works is someone sends a request, right, to our application, and our application in turn sends a response, right? So, it sends a response. And that's how our application works, right? Now, we cannot rely on getting a request at the time when we need to send a notification, right? So basically, I can't design this so that whenever someone sends a request, we check if there are any notifications we need to send, and then we send the notifications within that request response lifecycle, right? So that's not a good approach. It's not perform. It doesn't make sense at all, right? So what we need is we need a different application which runs maybe if once every day, right? Once every day, and let's say at midnight. And so these are just notifications. Yeah, so midnight is good. And it when it runs at midnight, it should loop over all documents, right? And see if there is a notification to be sent, right? Uh, so loop over all the documents and see if there are any notifications to be sent, and then send a notification, right? So uh, now this application has to run every day. So in the Linux world, in the Unix world, there is something called a cron tab, which allows us to do this. Okay, and it's a very simple and powerful utility available on Linux computers, which allows you to schedule something to be executed at a specified schedule, right? So if I quickly look at cron tab and go to the Wikipedia page, you'll see it has a special syntax which looks like this. And you can edit your cron tab file just by running cron tab -e, and it should open up in your editor. And so each line here represents a schedule. Okay, and if I want something to run every minute, I need to say star 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 star. Every star here means it's gonna match it against something. Okay, and if you see here, we have the first star is the minutes, so we're gonna say, we don't care what minute it is, run it. And the second is hour, the third is day of the month, in the month, and the day of the week. So all stars is going to run every minute. Okay, and what we're going to do here is we're just going to run. So if I run the date command, you'll see it prints out the date. So I'm gonna run the date command and redirect its output to temp date cron test, right? So now if I save this, it should have installed the cron tab. And now if you look at date, well, what was cron tab -L? Cron tab -L says it's going to date cron test. And right now there's no file with that name because we're almost at the end of the minute. So 54 seconds, 55, 57, 59. Now we should have a file. So, well, that's interesting. So temp date cron test doesn't seem to be present. Yeah, another thing you should take care of when you're creating a cron job is make sure that the paths are absolute, because the path may be not defined properly. So we're gonna edit it once again, and I'm gonna change this to pin date, because that's the path of date, right? So if I look at type of date, it's pin date. And once again, we are almost at the end of the minute. Well, so that's gonna take a few seconds, but Ruby gems, there is a very nice Ruby gem called whenever, which allows us to integrate with cron tab. Now if you look at the date, it's past the minute. So if I look at cat, all right, where were we? Yeah, we were past the minute. And now if you look at the file, still no sign of the file. Tail -f ls temp. Let's see, temp. Yeah, there is a cat temp date cron test. Yeah, there is that. And if you see, there is an entry for 2701, 2801, 2901, and 3001, right? Because it's been 4 minutes since we scheduled that. But yeah, anyway, so that's a cron tab, and that's cron. It's available on all Linux systems, and we can use it to schedule our script, which is gonna run every day at midnight. Now there is a gem in Ruby called what's the name? It's whenever, right? So whenever is a very nice gem, and what this allows us to do is it allows us to write our schedules in Ruby. So what I'm gonna do is open our gem file and add whenever, and do a bundle install, and go to the home page and read the documentation on how to use it. So go to the documentation and the source code. Yeah. So that's installed it, and to set up whenever we need to. We don't have to require it, so that's a good thing. And to set it up, we need to run a command called whenever rise in the current directory. And if you see, it says writing config schedule, right? So now we should have a file called config schedule.rb, which has an example syntax. Now, what do we want to do? We want to say every 1 day do runner. And what do we want to do? We want to say I want to run. What is this? This is a notification sender dot run. Okay, so I'm gonna have a class. Let's create a directory called services, right? So I'm gonna have a class called notification sender, inside of which we're gonna have a method on the class called run, and inside of this we're going to, so let me open up the readme where we wrote some logic, right? Some logic. Yeah, so this guy is gonna run every day at midnight. It should loop over all the documents, so that it should loop over all the documents. So we're gonna say document.all dot each do, right? And see if there is a notification to be sent, right? So I'm gonna say t dot notify. Do we have to send a notification? Well, so I want this service to be responsible only for looping over all the documents and just checking if there is a notification to be sent and sending that notification. So we'll say next if we don't have to notify, right? Well, or we could just say document.notify. Okay, and so that should take care of these. So what we are going to do is we're going to have a method called notify inside a document, and this is going to be an idempotent. So yeah, this is going to be a method which is going to send an email if the time is right for sending the notification, right? So so that's all this guy is gonna do. This guy is gonna go through all the documents and try to send a notification, right? So simple enough. Now to test it, we can run Rails runner notification sender dot run, and I'm gonna put some code here. So I'm gonna say sending notification for doc, and if you see, it says sending notification for doc 14. I guess there's just one document. So if you look at document.all, we just have one document. So that looks good, right? So Rails has Rails has a subcommand called runner, which takes a string which it then executes in the context of Rails. So that's how we are executing this code. So we have a class called notification center, which has an instance, which has a class method called run, and Rails runner is gonna instantiate the whole Rails application, and then it's gonna call this method, the run method, on the notification center class. So that's an easy way to run any code inside of a Rails context, okay, or after loading the Rails environment. So that's that. Now the core logic is gonna set inside the notify method, and again, I don't want the document to be responsible to check if the time is right to send the notification. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create another class here. Call it notification checker, maybe. Well, for now, this is a good name, right? Notification checker, and notification checker. We can rename it later if we find a better name. Notification checker def. So it's gonna have it's gonna take a document, and it's gonna tell us if the time is right. So check or send notification, right? So send notification, right? Or we could notification sender. So we have a service called notification sender. All right. So anyway, for now, let's just go ahead with this. So we have document. Want to store it in a instance variable, right? Document. I even want to store the document type. Document type, and want to make them private accessors. I'm gonna give them private accessors for document and document type. So send notification. So what is it gonna do? It's gonna check this, right? So it's gonna say if there is a notification to be sent, send a notification, right? So it's just gonna do part of this. So how do we know? So here again, this may seem kind of complicated, but it's a good idea to keep responsibilities, to keep classes very simple, and give them one single responsibility. Okay, so all right, so let's see. Yeah, so the notification checker is one single responsibility. It's gonna, this stuff is gonna pay off down the line, and make the application more maintainable. Anyway, so send notification, right? So what do we want to know? We have the document type. So document type has notifications, right? Notifications, and we want to know if there are any notifications. If there are any notifications, oh yeah, well, let's see. If we want to find all the notifications where they well, so what we are trying to do here is find potential notifications, or find activated notifications, right? So notifications, find all. So I'm gonna say notifications is this, okay? So find all, and each notification has what does a notification have? A notification has an account ID, document type, query document attribute, and the number of days. So those are the important attributes, right? So I need to get the query document attribute out of the document, which I can by using document value for n dot query document attribute. What was that? Yeah, query document attribute. So that gives me the value. So if that is, well, let's just say this is supposed to be a date, right? So this is supposed to be a date, and if that date, well, yeah, that date minus date dot today is greater than or equal to number of days, right? So what are we doing? We have a date. Let's say we have a passport and it has an expiration date, and today's date is May the 5th of 2015. If the expiration date of that passport is, let's say, November 2015, 1st of November, and so the date is going to be the 1st of November, and today is going to be so date 1st of November 2015, and today is what is it, 5th of May 2015, right? So this is going to be date minus date dot today is going to be how many months is that? 6 months, 6 3s 180 days, and let's say the number of days we want notification maybe 30 days in advance, right? So these are all example values just to make us understand this code. So we're gonna say if that date minus today is greater than 30 days, right? We don't care. If it is good, then it's gonna be greater than. But we want to know if it is less than or equal to our trigger point, which is 30 days, right? So if it is less than, then we need to send the notification, right? So then we'll say this is true, right? So this is true. So we need to say true, else false, right? Well, this is instead of having this, we can just shorten this to date minus today is less than or equal to. So now what it's going to do is it's going to collect all the notifications where this is true. So it's going to give us all the notifications where the number of days is less than the difference between these two, right? Well, date minus date dot today. So date is in the future, minus today is always going to be less than date, hopefully. And if that is less than 30 days, it means we are in our trigger period, right? And the other thing we need to remember is, okay, so maybe I'll add it to do here. The other thing we need to remember is we should send this notification only once, right? Send notification only once. So if I have a trigger for 30 days, this is going to be true for all the 30 days and even after that. So we don't want to send a notification every day. We want it only for, so maybe not less than or equal to, but we'll figure that out later. So for now, this is good. Those are all the notifications we need to send. And So instead of send notifications and a notification checker, I'm gonna change this to actually do both because it seems like a logical place, right? So here again, so we got all the notifications, uh, find activated notifications, right? And send a notification, right? So we already have notifications, we can just send them, right? uh, so this, I'm gonna rename this to find notifications, right? And notification checker is gonna be uh, notification center. So now I have a problem. I have two classes with the same name. So we need to find a better name for this. Um, we'll do that in a minute. Okay. So this is really a notification sender for a document, right? So I'm gonna say document notification sender. Um, well, hmm, notification. So this may be a job. This may be a notification job, sender job. Yeah, that seems good. It's a daily job, and a notification sender job, and it's gonna check for documents and notify them, right? And we even need to modify this in the schedule and notification sender job, right? So that's good, and this can stay as notification sender, right? So notification sender takes a document, and so this can be a private method, and it has a method called send, right? So notification sender has a method called send. In notify, we just need to call notification sender dot new, give it the document, and call send on it, right? So we haven't modified the document much. We've added a method which then delegates the sending logic to another another class, right? The notification sender, which does the actual work. So here we've initialized it in send. We need to find notifications, right? And for each of them, right? For each of them, we need to send them, right? So this gives us all the notification objects, right? And this is a to do. I'm gonna add even here, right? So that find notifications should give us all the notifications, right? And for each notification, we're gonna have a method called send, or or uh, we just need to send this notification. Uh, so let's see again. Let's go back to notifications. See what we have in a notification. Uh, notification. Notification has query document. So it just gives us information on whether we need to send a notification. So yeah, so we have the number of days. That's the only thing we have. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna create a mailer, right? Because in Rails you can send emails using a mailer. So I'm gonna generate a mailer, and I'm gonna call it document notification, and document notification uh, hmm document well, say document mailer notification, right? So the name of the mailer is document mailer, and it's going to have a method called notification inside of it, right? So Rails has created a few files for us: app mailers, document mailer. So if you look at app mailers, there is an application mailer, which is a default from and layout, and document mailer. All right. So uh, here I'm gonna say greeting, and so a notification is gonna say hello, name of the contact. Well, we don't really have a name. We have an account. So I'm gonna say hello, owner, right? Or owner name. Um, hmm. So we don't have an owner name. We have an account name, right? Does an account have a name? So if we go to account, it has a name, right? So account name, hello account name, right? And well, hello. Yeah, let's just say hello. Let's not overthink this. Hello. Um, this is a reminder to. This is a reminder for um, a document needs your attention, right? Um, so we have um, a document needs your attention, and we need a link to the document. So I'm going to say document link is going to be less than percentile document dot uh, document type, right? So I want it to be something similar to passport document passport #111, right? So document type should give us the name of the document, and hash document dot ID should give us the ID, right? And link to that document, right? So that's the text we want to show, and the URL should be document URL for this document, right? So I just want the user to be able to click on the document link and see what's going on, right? And document link is that, and that should be enough for now, right? So team Documentr from team Documentr, right? So that looks good. This guy needs a document and a document type. No, it just needs a document. So notification needs a document, and it needs to address, right? So needs a to address, and I'm going to say document is document, and the subject can be edited in the YAML file. So I'm going to go to n YAML, and document, go to the bottom of this en document mailer, and notification subject, right? Document alert from Documentr, right? Document alert. Yeah, that sounds good. And so that was the subject of the email, and this would be the body of the email, right? Now we can use this from the notification sender, right? From the notification sender, we can use this by using the document mailer notification method. Now this is a bit weird, the syntax for mailer. So if you see, the document mailer has an instance method, right? But Rails does some stuff, and you can access it as a class method. Okay, so that's how it works. So that's a gotcha there. You don't have to say .new, and I'm not sure if that even works, but yeah. Anyway, so this is an instance method, but you access it as a class method. Okay, because it's a Rails mailer. It's an action mailer. So document mailer dot notification needs a document. So I'm going to send it a document, and it needs a to address. So the to address can be fetched from the document account owner email. Well, that has too many dots, but for now we're just going to ignore it. Okay, so document to do too many dots, fix it. Okay, so document has an account which has an owner which has an email, and we're going to use that email to send a notification. Okay, all right. Now let's see. Let's actually run the sender from the console and see what happens, right? So there is an error here. It says what does it say? It says document notify uninitialized constant document notification sender. So if we look at well, let me close everything and go to notification sender, right? Well, there's no file with the name notification sender. Okay, so we forgot to rename the class to notification sender, right? So now notification sender is a class, and if we run it, there's another error which says undefined method minus for. Okay, so yeah, so the other thing is notification sender does subtracts date from date.today, and the date is a string, right? So we need to parse it properly. So if we do a date.parse on that string, let's see what happens. 12th May, which is good, right? So we need to do a date.parse, and that should fix that problem. And there's another number of days for notification sender. So this is on a notification, right? So another fix, and all right, so find notifications dot each, right? Now looks like it didn't send any notifications, but let's put a log here. So I'm gonna say Rails logger dot debug info sending notification for document document.id, right? Now we're gonna run this and tail the log development log, and it's actually sending a notification, right? So if you see, it's running a few queries and it's sending a notification for document 14, which is the only document. And let's see if it should have sent a notification, right? So document dot find 14 document type notifications. So there are two notifications, and one is when the start date is 30 days in the past, the other is when the start date is 20 days in the past. And d dot value for start date is 12th May, which is 7 days in the future. So it should have triggered it for notification 3, and it should have triggered it for notification 4. So why do we see just one notification? Find all n number of days. So for notification 1, well, date dot parse date minus date dot today is 7 by 1, and so if we convert it to an integer, that is 7, right? So that is 7 days, and 7 is less than or equal to, so let's look at notification dot last dot number of days, right? Yeah, it's 20, so 7 is definitely less than or equal to 20. So it should have sent two notifications. And let's log sending notification for document, sending notification n.id for document that, right? So I'm gonna run this again and look at the log, and yeah, sure, we are sending notification 3 and notification 4, so that's a good thing. Now I'm gonna change this a little bit and see if it works. So notification dot last n dot number of days, I'm gonna make it 6, and now n.id is 4, so it shouldn't send a notification for 4, and it has sent a notification number 3 but not for 4, so that's good, right? So it's working, right? Our code is working, and well, we can't say for sure because we don't have any automated tests, but it seems like it's working, right? And if you look at this code, it is quite a bit of code, right? So shoving this into into document wouldn't be the right thing to do, because all this responsibility doesn't belong to a document, right? So sounds like we have something which works, right? And if you look at the schedule, it has the right schedule, and we can even check the schedule by running the whenever command, and it says bin bash blah blah blah. If you look at the cron syntax here, it says it's gonna run at the 0th minute of the 0th hour, so that, and it doesn't care about the other parameters. So the 0th minute of the 0th hour is going to be midnight for every day, right? So it's gonna run at midnight every day, and it's gonna send those notifications, and that is awesome, right? So let me take a look at the diff. We've added whenever, we've changed the readme, um, we've added a mailer. Well, we even need to fix the default mailer. Sorry, the application mailer. The from is not going to be from an example. It's going to be, well, we don't want a no reply. I'll say support or alerts at documentr.com, or if we get that domain, yeah, documentr.com. So looks good. I don't see any other issues here. Well, the last thing I want to take a look at was the mailer layout. This looks good. We haven't added a mailer text template, so let's fix that too. So mailers, views, document mailer, notification, HTML ERB looks good. Well, we actually changed the text template, so let's change the HTML template too. So hello, put a line break after that. A document needs your attention, put a line break after that. Line break after that, and another line break. And well, this could be a paragraph, and this could be a paragraph, and document link to this looks good, right? This is an anchor tag, so that looks good. However, a notification text doesn't need a link to, it just needs the URL. So we'll say document, so less than percentile equal to, so document that document link for passport 1 colon, and this can be a URL, right? Yeah, so it looks good. And let's save this and make a comment. Added ability to send mail notifications, right? So awesome. Push this guy, and finally there is a very nice gem to let to debug and test emailers called letter opener. This is by the guy who creates Railscasts, and we can add it to our development group. So I'm gonna say group development, and gem letter opener, and do a bundle install, and in development add this. Development RB, will add this at the end, and that looks good, right? And now if we run notification sender, notification, well, what was the command? Yeah, if we run this, so we have one other bug which we need to fix. Well, we actually have two. So one is we are not actually sending the emails in the notification sender. Well, notification sender. We're just creating the email and we are not doing anything with it. So we need to call the deliver method on it to actually send the email. So let me run that once again, and this time it should open up something in our browser. And well, it looks like it opened it in my other browser. So uh, let me go get the URL and open it here. So it opened this in my other browser, and if you see, it's an email from alerts@documentr.com. The subject looks good. The to user also looks good. It says, "Hello, document needs your attention." And if you look at the link, make sure that the links are absolute, because when you send an email, if the link is slash whatever, it's not going to work because it's not relative to your site. So make sure that you use underscore URL like we did in document sender, right? So in what was that? Notification HTML. We used document URL instead of a document path, because a URL prefixes the domain name and the port to your links. Okay, so this looks good, right? Now I can use this and it's awesome, right? Okie doke. So that wraps it up. We have one bug which makes it send notifications every day. So we're gonna fix that in the next session. Okay. So let's see. Added letter opener, right? So added letter opener, and let me push that, and that's it for today, guys.